Well, good morning. Taking a live look outside on this Friday morning, TGIF. Beautiful look downtown Denver right now with I-25 there in the foreground. You can see the little sliver of the moon up there, and we are in for a really nice stretch of weather. Thanks for joining us, Corey and Jordan here.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Let's get a check of your forecast with Ed Green. Ed, that sun came out yesterday. Felt so nice. Going to be that way this weekend, too.
Yeah, it's going to be that way right into next week. Very little change in our weather. So back to you.
Oh, great. Okay.
I'll give you a few more details of that. But yeah, it's going to be very nice around here. Temperature's going to be above normal, which is 55 degrees. That's our high today. Then we don't get below that until we see next weekend around here. So here's what we've got right now, 30 degrees at this hour. We also have some teens and 20s over the eastern plains, single digits teens and 20s as you look to the mountains and west. 55 degrees today. This is normal for this time of year. Lots of sunshine to go around. And then on tomorrow, Saturday, 59 degrees, lots of sunshine, 62 on your Sunday. We'll just keep warming it up. 65 on Monday. Tuesday, we're at 68 degrees, threatening 70 on Wednesday, and we keep the sunshine with us.
Looks beautiful out there. Thank you, Ed. 5:01 is your time right now. We're taking a live look from I-25 and 23rd Avenue. Those cars heading away from us. Those are all the southbound lanes, so it's looking pretty good. It's still pretty dark out there, and we're seeing that all across the Denver metro area. No crashes to report, no major delays at this moment. Of course, that's going to change. Southbound I-225 from I-70 to I-25, it's going to be a 10-minute drive, and same story for those in Commerce City. It's going to be a 10-minute drive. Of course, if anything changes throughout the morning, I'll keep you updated.
All right, Brianna, thank you. Well, we now know that cell phone location information helped FBI agents track down and arrest the owners of a Colorado funeral home.
John and Carrie Halford are facing several charges: abuse of a corpse, theft, money laundering, forgery, after investigators found almost 200 bodies inside the Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose. We got a copy of the arrest warrant, criminal complaint, and affidavit. The affidavit shows John and Carrie Halford learned on October 4th that they were being investigated and left Colorado the very next day. Investigators believed John knew they would find bodies inside the funeral home, so he and Carrie left the state to avoid prosecution. They say that because they tracked the couple's phones and John turned his off, but Carrie Halford didn't. And by the middle of October, her phone's location pinged in Oklahoma at John's parents' house. FBI agents kept eyes on the home where they found John's car parked outside. Documents show the Halfords also have a building in Colorado Springs where they met with customers in person. The landlord of that property sent an email to the couple with an eviction notice. Investigators say the Halfords replied saying they would not be able to remove their property and for the landlord to do what he wanted with it. Investigators are still trying to identify 80 of the bodies found inside the funeral home.
Police in Arizona say a former NHL player who was part of the Avalanche organization last year threatened them. Police released body camera footage of the incident. Alex Galchenyuk spent most of the 2022-23 season in the AHL with the Colorado Eagles, but did play 11 games for the Avs. He was part of the trade during this past offseason that brought Ryan Johansson to Colorado and eventually signed a contract with the Arizona Coyotes. It was in Arizona just days after signing that contract that the incident occurred. Scottsdale police actually pulled over Galchenyuk and his father after witnesses reported seeing him crash his car into a sign and another car in a parking lot. Body cam footage shows his father claiming to have been the driver instead, which witnesses disputed. Eventually, Galchenyuk began to threaten the officers, who then arrested him. Police say that Galchenyuk pleaded guilty to 1 count of threatening. He was ordered to spend 2 days in jail, complete an alcohol treatment program, and pay a $563 fine. The Coyotes terminated his contract.
An Aurora man was sentenced to 45 years in prison for shooting at officers while they were trying to arrest him last year. Trenell McNeil was arrested on September 13th of last year. He was facing outstanding warrants, including one connected to a deadly shooting of a Coors Field concession worker in 2021. He was also indicted in April in connection to a deadly shooting in Aurora last year. When police tried to arrest McNeil last year, he started shooting at them. He was eventually arrested. McNeil pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree assault on a peace officer and was sentenced yesterday. Back in September, he was convicted of second-degree murder in the Coors Field concession shooting. For that case, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
A man accused of shooting and killing 2 people on I-25 over the summer is sharing his story for the first time. Stefan Long says that he was under attack and shot both men in self-defense.
Scared in that moment, just fearful. Didn't know what could happen to me. Didn't know what their intent was. So
Long told investigators at the time that the two men pulled up beside him on I-25 and started yelling at him, then cut him off and stopped him in front of him. According to an arrest affidavit, one man got out of the car, walked up to Long's window, and started grabbing him and hitting him. So Long shot the man. The other man then grabbed onto Long's window as he was driving away, and Long shot him as well. He then drove toward a family member's house where police arrested him. An advocacy group is working to get Long's charge dropped.
I still believe this is a clear-cut case of self-defense. I believe that this case highlights critical flaws in our criminal justice system and the application of self-defense and the way that it is offered or afforded to people of color.
Last month, prosecutors dropped one of the murder charges against Long after city council members questioned whether there was a double standard in this case. A spokesman for the Denver DA's office wouldn't comment on Long's claims, saying they don't comment on pending cases.
One of Colorado's biggest employers has avoided another strike. Unions representing Kaiser Permanente workers have agreed to a new contract a month after they held the largest healthcare workers strike in history. A 4-year contract covers 85,000 Kaiser employees, including 3,000 in Colorado. Last month, nurses, medical assistants, and lab and pharmacy techs went on strike for 3 days. They wanted higher pay and better hiring. The new contract sets the minimum wage in Colorado at $23 an hour and includes a 21% wage increase over 4 years. Kaiser says the deal will not affect the cost to patients.
Denver is making it easier for people to get updates when they call 911. The city will now actually text them. It's called the Spider Tech Customer Service Program. The text will let people know if police are running late and whether they found anything. It shares the victim's case number, making it easier to follow up with police later or filing insurance claims if needed. Not only will it take some work off of 911 staffers, it also gives DPD a new way to get feedback from the community with surveys.
We anticipate this being a permanent fixture of interacting with the police department. It's important to be able to do it consistently over an amount of time to get a good baseline of, are we doing better? Are we getting faster? Or just the overall experience for the people calling 911, is it getting better or worse?
Commander Herrera says that over 1,000 texts were sent out to Denverites as of 2 p.m. yesterday, and the feedback is starting to trickle in.
New this morning, the White House says Israel will begin implementing 4-hour pauses of military operations in Gaza every day. This is meant to allow humanitarian assistance to get into the enclave and allow civilians to flee any fighting. 3 hours before the pauses begin, Israeli forces will notify civilians in Gaza when it's going to start and the safest passage out. More than 200 civilians, including several Americans, are still being held hostage in Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel has been warning civilians to move to southern Gaza as it continues to attack the north. But many have not been able to leave in large numbers since the war began.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin are in India today. The top U.S. officials are in the country for the Indo-Pacific talks. Today, they are meeting with India's foreign minister and defense minister. The meetings are part of the so-called 2+2 dialogue launched in 2018 to boost defense cooperation and align policy objectives in the Indo-Pacific region.
The federal government has started to prepare for a possible shutdown. This comes as lawmakers on Capitol Hill have yet to settle on a plan to avoid a shutdown by November 17th. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer took the first step to put a government funding bill on the floor that the chamber could pass to avoid a shutdown. If the Senate were to pass it, the House would still have to approve it to avert a shutdown.
A Frontier Airlines plane that departed from Denver had to be evacuated in Texas after several crew members reported feeling sick because of fumes. Flight attendants were working in the back of the aircraft when they noticed the smell and notified the captain. According to the San Antonio Fire Department, the odor made several of the crew members feel nauseous. They were evaluated by emergency medical personnel as a precaution, and all were reported to be stable. Frontier Airlines released a statement saying that no passengers reported being affected and that their maintenance team is currently evaluating the aircraft to determine the cause.